Hey guys, this is Collin Moshman and Katie Dozier for CardsChat.com, and today we're going to be talking about the CardsChat article on equity and ROI. Katie, what are your thoughts on these key tournament concepts?
These are some of the concepts that to me are the most interesting in poker and part of why I prefer tournament play to cash play, so I'm really excited to be taking a look at them today.
Absolutely, and let's define equity. When we say equity is your rightful share of a tournament, what we mean is that if you pause a tournament at a given point in time and you were to play it out over and over a million times, the amount you cashed for on average would be your equity. And this is going to change based on how many players are left, your stack size, so it's going to continue to fluctuate as the game progresses.
What if I said my equity in every tournament I play is 100%? Would that be possible?
No, that wouldn't make sense for a lot of reasons, but I like the sentiment. I think that's actually pretty sweet.
Well, I think it's important to go in confident even if that's not today's subject.
Yes, it is. Today's subject, possibly, we could go into confidence, but for important equity concepts, one of the biggest ones is that you gain equity every time a player busts. Even if your chip stack stays exactly the same, when players bust, you gain equity.
And you should be happy every time somebody goes all in and loses in a tournament, even if you don't pick up any chips personally, because your equity has increased.
Definitely, and that effect is biggest in the sit-n-go, but happens to a small extent early on in MTTs as well. And we also have this independent chip model, which is going to give us the details of how to maximize our equity. And you can use software to pull up ICM results.
And that's one of the most important ways for a tournament player to study. And one of the funnest because the charts are pretty, which is important to everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah, they've got pretty awesome colors, so check those out. And we have this pretty related concept called ROI, return on investment, and this applies to anything. It applies to stocks, it applies to whatever kind of gambling you're playing. And the way that we're going to look at it is if you have a 5% ROI and a $10 buy-in, that's 50-cent profit. But your ROI could also be zero. It could be negative. So it's just going to give us how much money we win or lose on average relative to the buy-in.
Yeah, and the on average part is really crucial there because it's very easy to, in tournament poker, unfortunately get caught up in a downswing or on the positive side of variance, an upswing where you can radically overstate your ROI. So this doesn't mean that every time, you play a $10 tournament, you get handed 50 cents. It means over 1,000 games or over some significant sample, that's when ROI really comes into play. Not, just what you make in an individual tournament.
Yes, very well said. Very well. Can I say that's very well said?
I don't know. That might be overstating it slightly, but I appreciate it. You know who's making your dinner tonight, I guess.
So what does ROI depend on? Well, one thing is your opponents, the weaker your opponents, the softer the games, then you're going to have a higher ROI. And also in slower structures where you have more time to capitalize on your skill edge, that will also increase your ROI.
Right. So in other words, when you're in a tournament with me, Collin, your ROI goes down.
Well, Kate is laying down the law in this video.
It's definitely important to really keep in mind with the faster games and higher stakes, meaning lower ROI. I unfortunately tend to really love higher variance games where I have a lower ROI, but you got to follow your heart.
Yeah, so if you take one thing away from this video, forget about the numbers of the math, follow your heart.
Yeah, forget the math.
Now, the funny thing is that, well, these seem like two very different concepts. They're actually very related. So let's say, again, we're playing a $10 sit-n-go. Saying that you have $11 in equity or 10% ROI are the same thing. So they are actually very similar concepts.
Yeah, that's a very good point, even though they're used very differently, colloquially, sometimes.
Yes. So we hope that this has helped you guys understand these key tournament concepts. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Collin Moshman and Katie Dozier for CardsChat.com.